broadcast to wrap the day on Evenings LA to give you the latest update on your second stimulus check and second stimulus package. As the push is underway to get that $2,000 stimulus check to the finish line. In this video, we'll be going over state stimulus. That's that free rent stimulus for rent, utilities, food, and more. I'll also give you an update across the board on what's going on with that $2,000 stimulus check. $2,000 versus $600. And what's happening with multiple stimulus checks in January. It's so important to keep track of all the checks because suddenly, after no one wanting to give you any checks, now everyone wants to throw checks at you. So I want you to make sure you don't lose track of which check is yours. So I'm keeping you in check about the checks. In this recording, it'll be 30 minutes long. I'll have an update at the 15-minute mark, another update at the 30-minute mark. The first 10 minutes of this video, I'll be going over what the big organizations you need to get this stimulus from right now. At the 20-minute mark, I'll be going over why the first week of January is going to be a tight financial week for you and why you really need to get this state stimulus. And then at the 25-minute mark, or the 20-minute mark, then I'll be answering your questions. So I'll give almost 10 minutes of questions for you to answer me, starting at the 20-minute mark. So save all your questions about anything, stimulus check, unemployment, anything, and I'll be answering them at the 20-minute mark with an update at the 15-minute mark. And let's get rock and rolling. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. Go to the front channel, subscribe. Really appreciate the run we've been on lately. We're 300 people away from 360,000. So if you know 300 people down the street that can run over and press subscribe on your computer, that would really help. We'll get to the 360 faster. Also hit the alert button. Also like this video. Paid my rent and phone bills. Oh, there you go. There you go. Do we get pizza at the 7-minute mark? I wish. No lobster. That's Mitch. Mitch takes care of the lobster, not me. So there we go. $300, $600, $2,000. What's going on with all these stimulus checks? It's a lot to digest in just a bit. But the stimulus check that's landing in your bank account today, yesterday, tomorrow, that's $600 for an individual. Married couple, $1,200. $600 for a child. Okay, that's second stimulus. That's the second stimulus check, the $600 one. Pretty easy. What happened in March? The March check was the first stimulus, okay? That was the $1,200. Some never got that first stimulus check, the first stimulus one. There's now a battle in the Senate to get you that check if you never got it. And that is called the Cash Act bill. There's a battle with the bill in the Senate to get you the first stimulus check if you never got it. The Cash Act is also battling to get you the second stimulus check if you are disqualified or you are ineligible for the second stimulus check for some reasons. The Cash Act is trying to get you the second stimulus check. Okay, so now we're at the first and the second. Is there more stimulus checks besides that, Ellie? Yes, there is. Cash Act, the Cow Shack, as they used to say on Welcome Back, Cash Act, or the Cash Cab. It depends on where your accent is. From Long Island to Cash Shack, or Boston. Do I have anyone in Boston in the room? Park the car. That commercial on the last Super Bowl, not the one coming up, but the last Super Bowl where they're trying to park the car in Boston. The car shack. How did you park the car shack? So, I'm sure everyone in Boston has their own accent for the car shack. But the third stimulus package, which I don't think a Boston accent could. Yeah, the B-52s. The B-52s are rolling back like, why aren't we getting residuals for this Cash Act? It's just, the Cash Act, it just doesn't stop. The Cow Shack, then there's the Cow Shack, because so Lloyd's like, Cow Shack? I parked the casino at the Cow Shack. I bought the cow like at the cow shack all the time. They have free valet at the Cow Shack. The Cow Shack has the best lobster at lunch. That was what Rich brought me there. That's why I know the Cow Shack. But they cheat you out of money left and right. So it's just there's always something with the Cash Shack and the Cow Shack and the Cash Shack. The Russian accent. Can I pick up a Russian accent as well? I might as well pick up that one as well. Cash Shack. Nancy, why do you choose these names for these bills? And in the meantime, I look at Mitch's bill. I'm like, Mitch, you don't have a name for your bell. Why doesn't Mitch have a name for his bell? Mitch doesn't. There goes the set. Mitch doesn't have a name for his bell. It's just the I'm gonna screw you over bell. I'm gonna just whip you to pieces, Bell. It's just, the lobster bell. That's what I call it, the lobster bell. Mitch is just like, and then there's Bernie Sanders, just like, I'm gonna kill your New Year's Eve and keep you in I'm gonna keep you in D.C. with you. I'm gonna just ruin your New Year's Eve. And I'm like, Mitch's response when Bernie Sanders says, "I'm wonderful on New Year's Eve. I'm the love of the party on New Year's Eve. You don't want to be around me on New Year's Eve? I'm happy to be on New Year's Eve. Just, you're gonna hold up my defense spending bill for $2,000 stimulus check." That's what Bernie Sanders is betting on, that he's gonna ruin people's New Year's Eve by keeping them in town to see Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's like, I have no one else to talk to. So, yeah, stay around for New Year's Eve in DC. It just makes it all easier for me. And that's actually the battle for your $2,000 stimulus check, no less. The battle is to try to get people anxious to go home on New Year's Eve, which I don't know what Mitch McConnell does on New Year's Eve. Uh, he goes back to the room that has the voodoo doll of Nancy Pelosi. Just does things to it. I don't know what Mitch McConnell does on New Year's Eve, but there's something that Bernie Sanders thinks that it works to keep people in D.C. on New Year's Eve. So let me go to state stimulus, which this was about. So get your pen and paper ready if your hands look normal, unlike Mitch's, and let's get ready to rock and roll. These are organizations who are paying rent in certain cities and counties across the country, and let's get to it before my eyes start to tear up. In Mississippi, viewers have gotten rent paid by Mercy House. They've gotten rent paid by Home Saver and Salvation Army. In Indiana, they got rent paid by Indiana Housing Now. .org, and also from Coin 211. In Kentucky, they've gotten utilities paid by Community Action, but in Las Vegas, they've gotten rent paid by Clark County Services. Michigan, they've gotten rent paid by Salvation Army. Arizona, they've gotten rent paid by New Leaf. In Nebraska, they've gotten rent paid by United Way. Georgia, they've gotten rent paid by Georgia, they got rent paid by United Way as well. Dallas, they got rent paid by going to cityofdallas.com. In Mississippi, they've also gotten rent paid by MSHDA Eviction Diversion. In Rhode Island, they got rent paid by Crossroads and also by Rhode Island Housing Authority. In Delaware, Coin 211, Texas, Coin 211, El Paso, Project Bravo. If you hear anything and you didn't get to write it down fast enough, you can always replay this video and just pull it back to that spot. In Texas, they've gotten rent paid by St. Mary Magdalene. In Kentucky, they've gotten rent paid by Community Ministries. In New Jersey, they got rent paid by United Way. In Ohio, they got rent paid by Community Action. In Massachusetts, they got rent paid by Interfaith Social Services. In Phoenix, by TCDC. Delaware, up to $10,000. Alabama, Coin 211. And across Texas from Coin Catholic Charities. The following organizations have been paying rent across the country in jurisdiction after jurisdiction. They are Catholic Charities, Community Action, St. Vincent de Paul, United Way, and Salvation Army. Rent aid programs are currently in place. United Way is giving a rent assistance in Rhode Island now. Wonderful. I can see your comments. So if you got rent from something and you've been a success story, and again, I forgot to bring my pen on set, say it on the screen and I'll read it to other viewers and hopefully I'll remember it as well. The rent is being paid across the country from United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Meantime, certain organizations certain cities and counties have rent stimulus programs in place. They are City of Atlanta, County of Gwinnett and DeKalb in Georgia, the entire state of New York, City of Harrisburg, PA, and City of Nashville. But the incredible great news as we come up on the 10-minute mark is that the second stimulus provides all this money additionally for rent stimulus. So all the cities and counties are paying rent additionally. Thank you, King Rio. The incredible news is that massive amount of rent is coming to cities and counties from the federal government under the second stimulus. The neighborhood service helped me out with rent in Tennessee. What did he say? The neighborhood service center helped us with utilities in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Ginger, thank you. Um, Indiana called 211. Absolutely. What is the money for LA? It's for utilities and for rent. Um, Thank you, Demo, for the for Corpus Christi, Ohio is helping for rent. Someone just said, Reno. Thank you so kindly. Um, the, uh, what was I going to say? The the money come from the second stimulus is going to be arriving the next few weeks, and it's going to be supplementing cities and counties and states. Thank you, Lori, for the super chat that have not received that are run out of money. Now, as I think it was Deborah that just said, Miami-Dade still has rent, Broward County still has rent, West Palm, Orange County, Orange in South Florida. A lot of places still have rent. Other places don't have rent. I had viewers 2 nights ago in Collier County say there was no rent. Um, Missouri, other parts of Missouri, like Kansas City, no rent, but St. Louis does have rent. So you see where places need rent. That's going to change. They're all going to have rent in just a few weeks. That's the incredible, great news. And Miami-Dade has rent and utilities, says Barbara. Absolutely. Thank you, Melissa, for the super chat. So someone just said on the screen, for example, no rent in Los Angeles. That's absolutely correct. But viewers are getting rent from the nonprofits. So what I want you to focus on, if you're just joining me at the 11-minute mark, I promised there's going to be an update at the 15-minute mark. What I want you to understand, when we're going over rent, utilities, and food, if there's nothing available for your city and county, it's available for the nonprofits. It's available for the nonprofits. Community Action, Catholic Charity, St. Vincent de Paul, uh, United Way, Salvation Army. They're paying rent where there is no rent available for the city of county. So like Los Angeles. Viewers always jump in the chat every night. There's nothing in California. That's true. There's nothing for the state of California. But Catholic Charities has paid rent across the state of California. People say there's no rent in Ohio or Kentucky, but there is rent across the board. United Way is paying New Jersey. Absolutely. I mentioned that one as well. Absolutely. So if you want the rent, you can get it. It's there. And I want you to get it. So now at the 12-minute mark, as I promised, I want you to understand why it's important to get this rent now. Let me explain why. I'm really live. Yeah, this is live. You're actually tuning in live. See? Should I do a pantomime? Uh, the reason I want you to get this money is because the first and second week of January is going to be a tight week. Your unemployment benefits, if you have gone inactive, will be switched back to active, but there'll be a delay. And because there's going to be delay, your unemployment checks for the last week of December, first week of January, and second week of January may be delayed. And that delay may be severe. It may be several weeks. It may be several days. It may be a month. And you're going to potentially have a bind on paying bills that first week of January. So I want you to go get that stimulus now from your state and county and local. And that is really the incredible great news. Um, what if I'm still active? That's a great question, Gregory. And let me answer that question, even though at the 20-minute mark, I'll be answering all your questions across the board. Gregory has a great question because it reminds me what I have to always say. If you're still active, that means that your state has done extended weeks of benefits. And it's extended weeks of benefits. Thank you, Dion. Corpus Christi is also helping out for security deposits for people who have lost their homes to find other help. Thank you, Demon442. That's wonderful. And I don't know why, but YouTube kept the comment on the screen and left it there for a long time so I could read it. It was wonderful. I don't know why YouTube does it. It was great, or how it did it. So what I know is that that first and second week is going to be a financial tight week for you, potentially, possibly. But if you are still on benefits and have not gone inactive, that means your state gave you extra weeks of benefits. You're still good to go. Boy, now as we come up on the 15-minute mark, another update across the corner. I'll have an update in 15 seconds from now, and the next update will be at the 30-minute mark. Boy, what a day. I'm buzzing through. There's a lot of stuff. This is the second live recording. There was another live recording right before this that went really in detail about the $600 stimulus check and what's going on at the $2,000 stimulus check, this is giving a lighter, easier, breezy coverage of the subject. Now at the 15-minute mark, this is your update direct from Los Angeles. This is Evenings LA, and this is Purple Power Live, our evening show every night about state stimulus, free rent, free utilities, and more. But because there's so much breaking across the board on your second stimulus and the Cash Act stimulus, I'm going over that tonight as well. The Cash Act stimulus, the $2,000 stimulus bill, which is not a law, but a bill, is likely to get to a vote in the next few days. Why? Because it's being anchored upon a problem with something that's a lot more important. Yeah, you would think your stimulus check is a lot important. This is the most important thing in the world. But in the eyes of Congress, no. The military's check is the most important. The military's check is being held up by something that's called the National Defense Act, and that has to be approved. It's going to expire very, very soon. And if it expires for the first time in 60 years, the military won't have an approved budget. It's never happened. And they're basically saying we're going to block the military's bill from going from point A to finish line if you don't do the stimulus check Cash Act issue first. It's a very delicious move, and it's very, very exciting. And because of that, I'm reporting that you're likely to see pushes to get a vote very quickly. Ironically, there's nothing holding up the $2,000 stimulus check at this point. We have gone in no less than 4 days from no one supporting $2,000 to now nearly everyone supporting $2,000, with the exception of crazy people like Ron Johnson and Pat Toomey, who they don't even get invited to Mitch's Lobster Fest on New Year's Eve. I mean, even I got invited. They don't even know the special lobster dance, the one that goes like, Mitch doesn't even tell them the special lobster dance. I mean, he even told me the special lobster dance. But they're just not, they're outcasts. They're just outcasts they're in a different island. Even Purdue and Loeffler were invited to the Lob Fest. And there you go. So the real issue is that the Cash Act has some language in there that's making people very uneasy, more uneasy than every time that Nancy walks in with a new hairstyle. The provisions in there are that it has some language that makes it look like rich people get a stimulus check. And there's enough people saying that they read the language that way that enough people are saying, I'm not signing this or voting for this because you wrote the bill the wrong way. Mitch is in the chat room. It's Mitch in the chat. Hi, Mitch. How are you? Why did I wish I could have RSVP'd for the Lopfest earlier, but I have to record that night. But there you go. I know it's not really Mitch. I mean, Mitch doesn't know how to use a computer. Uh, Mitch is still using a typewriter. So there you go. I believe it's going to get to a vote. The issue is when and how, and if this anchoring it based upon the defense bill is going to work. Now, as promised, as we come up on the 20-minute mark, you're up to date. Let me answer your questions. When any questions you want to ask across the board, whether it's unemployment, stimulus check, state stimulus, anything and above, I'm here to now answer your questions for 10 minutes. And if I miss your question, post it again. Will PUE be extended? PUA's is 300 to March, but third stimulus is going to come in and do a new version of it. When will the EIDL grants be reopened to apply? January. Hello from Missouri. Hello from Missouri as well. I'll get the IG room in about 3 minutes. So is it going to be $600 stimulus? There is. It's already in people's bank accounts. That's the second stimulus package. What about a payees person? Yes. So if you get your Social Security benefits paid to a payee and you are not an adult dependent, then it's in the payee's account. What does COLA have to do with SSI? Great question. So every year when it's over, they look at your benefits and they say, should we raise your benefits next year? And they look at a benchmark called COLA. COLA doesn't move. It's a ridiculous benchmark. It's flat. As eggs cost more and milk costs more, as COLA stays flat. So they want to tie it to a new benchmark so that as eggs and milk go more up every year, you get your benefits increased. That's why your benefits this year increase the lowest amount in U.S. Social Security increases for next year is the lowest ever in U.S. history. Will adult dependents qualify for the $2,000 stimulus check? Under the Cash Act, yes. And you'll get a retroactive stimulus check. What if you do not get a stimulus check if you're on SSI? If you are not an adult dependent and on SSI, you will get a stimulus check. PUA income verification. I don't know what that means. Say it again. Will people on SSI get the extra $200 counts as income? Will it count as income? Boy, I don't know that. I don't know that. That's a really great question. Will SSI still get the $2,000 stimulus check? Yes, yes, because the Cash Act, well, under the Cash Act, yes. It doesn't matter if you're adult dependent or not an adult dependent. Cash Act says give everyone $2,000. What is PUA? PUA is Pandemic Unemployment Assistance. It's unemployment assistance. It's unemployment assistance for people who are independent contractors, sole practitioners like Uber, Lyft, people who are not employed by other people. Paper check timeline. Your stimulus check by paper check will come in about a week. What is a CDC grant? It's a grant underwritten by CDC. The amount of it we don't know, and it's for frontline workers. Do the kids get the $2,000 or just the adults? Under the Cash Act, the kids would get raised from 600 to 2,000. So yes. What about veterans? You would get everything just like anyone else, provided you are not an adult. Well, let me say what I'm referring to. The $600 stimulus check for veterans you get if you're not an adult dependent. Thank you, Franklin, for the super chat. Veterans, you get a $600 stimulus check if you are not a adult dependent. If you are an adult dependent, you're not getting the $600 stimulus check. Meantime, under the Cash Act, you get everything if it passes at $2,000. Under the Cash Act, you get $2,000 whether you're an adult dependent or not an adult dependent. What about a minority over 50? I don't know what that means. 50 years old. 50 years old is not an issue about is not an issue for eligibility for a stimulus check. If Biden happens to get retroactive FPUC at least 20 weeks, oh boy, that was a great question. If Biden happens to get retroactive FPUC even after at least 20 weeks, when do you think we might actually possibly see that? I would say about late February. I would say about late February. Well, I would say about mid-February in the fastest states and the slowest states March because it's again routing times of these state unemployment departments. So you're gonna have to say at least 3 weeks for the fastest states and the slowest states for at least a month. Does retroactive adult dependents get 2,000? Oh, that's a great question. So no, you would get what you were supposed to get in the first stimulus package, which I think they want it to be 1,200 because adults got $1,200 stimulus checks in the spring. They want you to have exactly what other adults would have gotten. I think that's how they want to do it. It's either that or 500. I can't remember. It's either 1,200 or 500. Oh wow, 1,600 people in the chat, so we zoomed up. Does the third stimulus, oh boy, the questions are flying now. Does the third stimulus pertaining to the $200 for SSI and the SSI depend on the 2 Senate seats? Great question. I don't think so because Social Security has been broken for many years and SSI, and it is a nonpartisan issue. So I don't think so. No, I think the Senate seats are more things like hazard pay, anything that's big, like 10,000, 50,000, 20,000. $2,400 is not big for Republicans. What's the cap on stimulus check? $75,000 individual, $150,000 married couple for the second stimulus check. Let me answer some of my Instagram room questions. What about if my ex owes my back checks, owes me back child support? Will I get his stimulus check? No. You can't take his, no, but you can still go to court to try to get it. But no, it cannot be taken for it. I still haven't received my EDD, but my account didn't go inactive. Should I be expecting a delay? I would look into your website and see if it says processing or not processing. But in California, they claim there won't be an they won't they claiming there's not going to be a well, I would just go into your state's unemployment and look and see when, if it shows delayed or pending or inactive or what it shows. Even if it's active, it may not be pending. When does the extra $300 start? It starts right about now. When is the Cash Act going to happen? Hasn't yet happened yet. When we receive the $1,400 stimulus, hasn't become a law yet. What about child support? The stimulus check. Oh, there's free child support under the second stimulus package. The program has not opened yet. I'm answering some of the questions in the Instagram room. I haven't been able to work since she pulled the children out in March due to COVID. You should go get unemployment. Um, Will we need to report the stimulus check to unemployment? No, it's not income. Stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable either. Do you know anything about? Oh boy. Oh Lord, the questions are coming fast now. Lord. I ran on my UI. So Kathy, I ran on my UI. I need to know if it gets reinstated in the Sunday signed bill or if that's only for PUA. Great question. Let me read Kathy's question again. I ran out of my UI and I need to know if it's been reinstated by the bill that was signed last Sunday, or is that just PUA? The answer is yes. The bill on Sunday for Sandy, the bill on Sunday, the bill on Sunday for Sandy reactivated UI and reactivated PUA. So if you are inactive on UI, your UI will become active in the next few days. Hello, Manuel Cake Daddy. Wow, long time no see. An original viewer on this channel. My goodness. Um, what kind of SSI gets the $200 count as? All type of SSI. That's the way Biden wants to do it. Will the third stimulus check be included in the new business owners? No, third stimulus check is for everyone. When I'm saying stimulus check, I mean stimulus check. I'm not referring to there will be business grants, but when I'm saying stimulus check, I mean stimulus check. Is PUA taxable? It is. So every week you certify for benefits, it asks, do you want to withdraw for taxes now or pay taxes later? Can Pelosi kill the Cash Act if why would Pelosi kill the Cash Act? Um, I lost the comment. Sorry. Oh, thank you, Robert, for the super chat. Will Biden be able to pass a third stimulus without a vote? No. Um, no, he can't. I heard there was a credit to stipulate that the restaurant industries, I don't know what that comment said, but restaurants are getting PPP, which goes live in just a few days. There's also under the second stimulus some money for venues. And the terminology of what is a venue is very, very broad. I haven't covered that on this channel because I don't have a lot of venue owners, but there's that as well. PEBT, yes. So that's what I covered earlier today. I don't know if I have my notes in front. I do. So if you have a child who is normally in school and that child gets food from school and now that child has to stay at home, you can get an additional $114 a month for that child on top of your existing SNAP benefits. And you want to talk to SNAP about that. That's absolutely incredible. It's really, really helpful. Any way I know how to speed up the appeal process for unemployment? No, every state is different. Can Pelosi kill the Cash Act? Um, no, the Cash Act is no longer in her dominion. It's now in the Senate. It expires. It will expire if they don't do anything. Eviction moratorium in Los Angeles? Yes, there's an eviction moratorium well, there's several eviction moratoriums in Los Angeles. You have the national eviction moratorium, which is the CDC eviction moratorium, and then you have the California eviction moratorium, and then you have the LA County eviction moratorium. If you're in certain cities, there's city eviction moratoriums as well. Many of the cities that I know, you absolutely can't do anything. You absolutely can't even touch the issue. They're basically lockdown eviction moratoriums, unlike the CDC, which is like you got to do this. Haven't received a stimulus check? Maybe tomorrow. Do you have to really wait for the 4th, July 4th, for the third payment? No, tomorrow is not is a business day, is a banking day, and then January 2nd is a business day. What about adult dependents? No, adult dependents are not getting a second stimulus check, but the Cash Act is trying to fix that. When does my payment go live? Great question. So the IRS website to track your payment will go live probably later this week, but that's likely to be for the paper checks, not for the electronic checks. But I'm not positive. That'll go live later this week. Inmates get a stimulus check as well. And there you go. Well, we're up to date. Let me give you a final update as we touch down at the 30-minute mark. Boy, what a night it has been. 2 live videos, evening's check right before this, if you missed that, and now this one. And it's been a big day. Your second stimulus check, $600, is landing in your bank account either today, yesterday, or tomorrow. This is a stimulus check signed by the President of the United States on Sunday. No stimulus check for adult dependents, but for single individuals, $600, married couple, double that amount, and children, $600. This electronic receipt, paper check, is coming within about a week. Meantime, if you are wondering about the $2,000 stimulus check bill, the Cash Act, it's currently on the Senate floor. It's not a law, it's a bill. And it's likely to be teed up for a vote by the end of this week, I'm reporting, because of the expiration of a more important bill which governs the operations of the U.S. military defense. And that defense bill has to be done, or for the first time in 60 years, we have no defense funding. And that is why the ambush of anchoring this to something far more important who's expiring earlier seems to work, so long as people hold their gun. Thank you for the super chat. And with that, what a night it's been. Thank you for joining me. Join me if you missed any of the videos on today's recording, or you join me live, you can go back on the channel. There's Afternoons Lalate that had check, then purple, then third stimulus check and third stimulus package. Then I went live with Bean and Mitch, and then these 2 videos as well. Meantime, join me tomorrow morning at 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for EIDL on Overnight to Lalate, then PUA at 2 a.m. on Overnight to Lalate. And then I return for early mornings to Lalate, 2 shows, and then mornings. Meantime, also subscribe to this channel. Go to the Funniest channel, subscribe. We're about 300 people away from 360, so it'd be cool we can find those 300 people. So are they around anywhere? Do you know where they are? So 300 lobsters, just subscribe. And then also like this video. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow on New Year's Eve. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay in LA for more.